Come on. Okay, there we go. Google finally got shit together. Hello, this is Mr. Red Fox here with another episode of BS Busters, and it's been a while, but or not BS Busters, Sci-Fi Power Hour-ish. It's been a while, but I mean, my schedule changed, so like basically my weekends are shot to hell. So, um, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but you're lucky you're getting this. um, but with that being said, let's have the other person introduce themselves. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello, guys. This is Piggy Dog from Video Game Facts. And no, I did not watch the Robin Hood movie. I refused to watch it the moment I saw a trailer of it months back. And I didn't see the King Arthur movie last year either.
I saw the King Arthur movie. It's like I wanted a good King Arthur movie. You know, I really did. I was one of those people. It's like, yeah, I want to see a good King Arthur movie. But then I actually saw it and I was like, my God, what have these people created? This is bad.
And this is what we're going to discuss today, which is why do they keep screwing up on reviving the Robin Hood and King Arthur legends?
Well, I mean, that's one of the topics. I guess you can go first since you're the other member of the panel. So go ahead.
Well, I see. I was watching this video by a YouTuber who discusses this is why the reason Robin Hood and King Arthur movies are so bad is because they've been a victim of following trends. Like the ones in the 2000s, they were a victim of the trend of gritty realism, where they remove all the supernatural elements that was brought by Nolan's Batman trilogy. And
well, actually, that one was actually pretty good. Like the only modern Arthur, and that movie flopped too, but at least it was different enough that it wasn't just part and parcel of. You're talking about the one with Clive Owen that was directed by Antoine Fuqua. Yeah, that one wasn't that bad. Like it wasn't good, but it wasn't like it was different enough that it didn't feel like, okay, we're pandering to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this shit is getting ridiculous.
And of course, and I should mention that Ridley Scott's Robin Hood was really going to be about the sheriff teaming up with Robin Hood to track down a killer, some kind of thief. And of course, executive meddling from Ridley Scott intervene and try to make it, and they instead try to make a more historical, accurate version of the Robin Hood legend.
Really? Because I just thought that it was bad all around. Like both of those sound like really bad ideas. You know what I mean? Like what Ridley Scott's original idea was, and then what, like, okay, let me put it this way, okay? For me, the reason King Arthur failed was because, first of all, they tried to basically create a cinematic universe without getting the first fundamental rule of building a cinematic universe, is that the first movie has to be good. You can't make a shitty movie and say, well, you know, later on they'll get better. Like the only cinematic universe where the movies have gotten, like, the first movie wasn't that good and all of them are pretty terrible, but there's still a massive cinematic universe, is Transformers. Like, because all those movies are bad. Like even the first one isn't very good. It's just not as bad as the later films. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now they're making a Bumblebee spinoff, which supposedly a beginning of a new Transformers cinematic franchise.
Well, I haven't seen the Bumblebee movie. I will be honest, I have not seen the Bumblebee movie. I don't know.
I don't even know if it came out already or it comes out this week.
I saw the trailer for it, and I can tell you that it looks a lot better than any of the Michael Bay Transformer films. But that's like saying, okay, this guy keeps on busting into my house and gut punching me, right? And then one day, after like doing this 5 times, a new guy, the guy who kept on busting into my house and gut punching me, he went away, and now there's a new guy who just comes in my house and slaps me in the face. Not even like a pimp slap or a hard slap, just a gentle, like theatrical slap. And I'm like, well, that's better. I mean, you're still being assaulted either way, but one is clearly preferable to the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's basically how I feel about like
Of the Robin Hood and King Arthur movies.
well, I mean that's what I feel about the Bumblebee film. Is like the guy making it, like, okay, like basically from what this is just the trailer. I have not seen the movie, but the trailer shows that the person they have directing this film is a guy who has a background in animation. Okay. So the things that we always wanted from a Transformer film before Michael Bay fucked it up, where you actually see how the Transformers transform. You can see how when they go from vehicle to humanoid form, how this shit goes together and how it's going to go back. Like how you can envision how the transformation is going to go. Michael Bay fucked that up because Michael Bay doesn't give a shit about that. Michael Bay does whatever. Michael Bay is going to have some chick bending over. And he's going to be giving her a
Close-up shot of her butt and her chest.
He's going to be trying his damnedest to give this woman an enema, a gynecological exam with his camera. And I know some people are going to be like, how dare you, sir? But look, I didn't make Michael Bay do this. Michael Bay does this in his films, okay? I did not make him do that, okay? Personally speaking, I don't really, like, I'm not a big Michael Bay fan. I think that his films are trash. Like by and large, I think most of Michael Bay's films are trash. And I know some people are going to get angry. They're going to be like, "How dare you, sir?" But really, I mean, his films are trash. They're garbage. And I know there are people who and I think Michael Bay has only gotten worse because there's no one who can tell Michael Bay no, right?
So Michael Bay said that he does these movies for fun and not for art.
No, I mean, no, I don't mean that. I mean literally, like, no one tells him no. Like, he basically, like, when they asked him, why do you do the Transformers films? Like, why would you ever work for Marvel? He's like, well, like, Marvel wouldn't let me do whatever I wanted to do. Like, his whole thing is, he wants to do whatever he wants to, which is why you have a Transformers series that makes no sense. Like, if you are a fan of Transformers, you're someone like me who like has the comics and understands the history.
Though to be fair, the original Gen 1 cartoon made no sense either because of its inconsistencies with it.
Well, I mean that's true. That's why if you want it to make sense, you have to get like what I have is the
comics.
Yeah, the comics, the Universal Omnibus, which basically tells the story in like a more coherent style, but it basically takes the foundation that was laid by the cartoon and makes it make sense. It smooths everything out and makes everything come together, which is fine. I mean, I don't need everything to be perfect, but I mean, there's major like here's the thing: the Gen 1 cartoon didn't make perfect sense, but there were certain constants to it. Michael Bay doesn't even follow that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because for each installment, the plot contradicts contradicts itself from what was previously established.
Yeah, and that's my problem. That is my sole problem with Michael Bay's Transformer films. Is just basically he does whatever he wants. There's no like, it's like, dude. And here's the thing, right? Like, it's not like he does whatever he wants and he's adding something to it. Like Christopher Nolan's Batman films, I don't think like they're well-made films, but as far as like if you're a Batman fan, they're not very good Batman movies. Okay, when I say Batman, I mean like if you know the lore and how characters are supposed to act and like how villains like certain characters are supposed to be, it's not very good. But they're fine movies. They're just not.
I think most would disagree because because the Nolan films still feel like Batman films
Eh,
in soul, in spirit. Because even the comics, it was much more down to earth compared to other DC properties.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is like people keep on trying to make this shit grounded. It's not supposed to be grounded. You have a grown ass man who suffered a huge tragedy. No one's gonna deny. And instead of dealing with that shit, he dresses like a giant fucking bat. Okay, that is not grounded. Okay, that's fucked up. I mean, like basically the Lego Batman movie said it best. This guy goes around beating up poor people. That's what he does. Okay, like there's nothing fucking grounded about this shit, and for people to keep on trying to make a grounded Batman is ridiculous. Like it's. I mean, you know, like Nolan. Yes, Nolan has the technical proficiency. Like he puts artistry in his work. But if you're a Batman fan, if you like how characters are characterized, like why the fuck? Like changing lore, like, well, Batman didn't go to. Basically, they ripped this off of basically Batman goes on this kung fu journey, learning various martial arts from various people. No, he learned it from Ra's al Ghul, but he doesn't meet Ra's al Ghul until he's like a decade into being Batman. Fuck that! I'm Christopher Nolan. I'll do whatever I want because I've got Liam Neeson. Like that's the problem, okay? Like if you know Batman lore, if you grew up reading the comics, there's major fucking problems with the Nolan trilogy. Like there's major fucking problems.
But to be fair, alternate universes for various comic book movies exist, so because of it, they'll be able to meet certain supporting characters or villains early or later.
No, I understand that. The problem is that Nolan's artistic vision for the Batman movies to people who don't know Batman seems really good. But if you read the comics, if you're like a major fan of the comics, it's major fuck ups. Like it's to the point where I can't even ignore it. You get what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Like okay, he's like, okay, I'm gonna give you Bane, but like the way he does the third film in the trilogy, it's like this doesn't even make any fucking sense. This is stupid. And he's still trying to tie it with Ra's al Ghul. I'm like, dude, you fucked up. You should like. That's the problem. Like, there should have been someone there who's like, okay, well, but then again, the major problem is that the script was written by David Goyer, and we all know that David Goyer is like the last person that you should ever
hire. And there was also that plot hole in The Dark Knight Rises involving how Batman got into Gotham while he had nothing.
Don't ask questions. Don't be asking no questions. I'm David Goyer. Bitch. Not physically, but you know what I'm saying? Like David Goyer is just fucking terrible. He is a terrible scriptwriter. He's almost as bad as Alex Kurtzman. Yes, said it. I know some people are gonna get mad, but I don't care. But anyway, yeah.
So yeah, like last year's King Arthur movie, this Robin Hood movie was supposed to kickstart a cinematic universe starring Robin Hood's merry men in their own solo films.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. Yeah, that shit wasn't gonna.
And
That
and the said YouTuber mentions that the only way to make the only way to bring King Arthur and Robin Hood back to being good again is to go back to the basics, even though those basic stories are now considered to be too cliched and predictable.
well, that's what I was gonna say. Keep it classic. Stop trying to update shit for people who don't care. You know, they're okay, like the Robin Hood movie that came out. It's basically Batman. Well, actually, I take that back. It's not Batman. It's fucking the Green Arrow, who himself is a ripoff of Robin. like, like I was waiting for Robin Hood in this film to say, "You failed this city." You know, I mean, I was like, I mean, Jesus. And instead of having here's the thing: people like the iconic story. Yes, it is cliche. It's like Superman. It's like the reason why Man is still fucked up, because they fucked up the iconic character. When you fuck up an iconic character, it's really hard to walk that shit back. Okay?
Yeah.
Like the whole point about Robin Hood is, okay, he's a guy who was like a young lord who went off with Richard III to the Crusades. He got caught. He was put into the Inquisition. He managed to escape, or I think he's eventually let go because they're like someone bought his bond or whatever. And he takes a dude who helped him survive in prison, who happens to be another Muslim, but he apparently a Muslim, a Moor, who apparently belonged to a different Islamic sect. So that's why he was in jail too. And he brings him back to England to watch his back, and because Robin helped him out in prison, and he helped him anyway. And then they wind up. He gets back home. He finds out home is fucked up. The sheriff of Nottingham is taxing the shit out of people. There's historical precedence to it, because in actuality, Richard III was bankrupting England, fighting in the Crusades. So that's why taxes were so high to pay for this shit. But I mean, like within the story, like the sheriff of Nottingham is just taxing the shit out of everybody. Prince John's letting him do it because as long as his brother gets his money, he's gonna stay his ass in the Middle East, and Prince John can rule everything. I mean, and he gets a band of merry men, Friar Tuck, Little John, Will Downing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like that classic story. People like the classic story. Stop fucking up the classic story. We don't need, oh man, we're gonna make it like Batman. What the fuck is wrong with you? No one wants a Robin Hood that's like Batman. People want Robin Hood where he has an English accent, he's all charming and shit and debonair. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I will be taking your donations to go to the ye band of merry men. Please put your offerings in the hat. No heroics, and nobody will be hurt. Like, that's the Robin Hood people want. This dashing rogue archer, like swordsman. That's what people want. Stop fucking it up with, oh, we're gonna make it like Batman. Please don't.
Though, to be fair, the original Robin Hood stories were pretty dark and not family friendly.
Well, yeah, I mean, most of them weren't family friendly, but I mean, like, okay, like most people haven't read the original Robin Hood stories. Like, basically, their introduction to the Robin Hood stories is
like the Disney adaptation, Men in Tights.
Disney and Men in Tights. Those are the two most popular versions of Robin Hood. And then a close third is that shitty Kevin Costner movie where he pretends to have an English accent for like 20 minutes, and he's like, fuck it. like halfway through. Fuck it. Like that's like a joke in Men in Tights. It's like, well, what makes you think you're such a good Robin of Locksley? He's like, well, I actually speak with an English accent. And it was like, ooh. You know, like, I mean, you know, like basically Robin Hood is like we've had multiple versions of this character. Robin Hood is you know, was eventually transposed into Zorro, which later on was transposed into Batman. Why would you take a character that is the archetype and then try to make a later archetype like that character? Like, don't do that. That's not cool. But that's what we're dealing with, folks. That's the shit we're dealing with. But yeah, that King Arthur movie was bad too, on so many levels.
Which is why I never saw it, because I knew it was bad in the first place.
Like, and I so wanted it to be good. Like in my head, I was like, man, this could be totally good. And it's like they were like shit was being told to me that made me think that this could possibly be good. Like Guy Ritchie's directing it. I like Guy Ritchie's movies. He's the guy who did those Sherlock movies with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. He also did like those Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Rock and Rolla, like some really good crime dramas. And I was like, man, this could actually work. But then I started hearing shit that made me say, this is not going to work. You know, shit like, oh, well, we're going to make this into this is going to be a cinematic universe. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, if I hear someone say cinematic universe, I'm already, like, in my head, like, well, this ain't going to work.
And since you mentioned Sherlock Holmes, there's going to be another one this month starring Will Ferrell.
Yeah, but that's going to be like a parody comedic thing, which, I mean, you know, like my thing about Will Ferrell is that like some of the things he does are really funny, and some of the things he does, I'm just like, dude, stop. This is not, you're better than this. Because I've seen Will Ferrell play good roles.
Right.
I've seen it.
And one of those roles has to be one of my top 5 recommended holiday movies.
And what is
Elf?
Elf, yeah. That is a good holiday movie. Segueing nicely. Yeah, Elf is a good holiday movie. Not my favorite, but go ahead and give your 5. I guess Elf is one of them. So give your 5, a brief synopsis, and why people should watch it.
And see, aside from Elf, there's also The Nightmare Before Christmas, which was going to be the first movie I was going to pick until you mentioned Will Ferrell, and I had to mention Elf. So yeah, basically it's when 2 holidays combine and disaster happens. Halloween and Christmas. And boy do I like it. Next film I would recommend is Gremlins, because it also takes place in Christmas, so why not?
But it is a dark film. That film is way darker than it has any business being. Like when Phoebe Cates tells how she found out Christmas wasn't real, she's like, "Yeah, we found my dad's corpse in the chimney." I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah, and how the gremlins die from sunlight,
and how they kill so many people. I mean, they kill so many people. They kill that mean old lady. Like they launch her ass through a window. I'm like, fuck. God damn, this movie is dark. like even Gizmo's kind of like, shit. I love you. You're cute, but Jesus, this is fucked up.
And the next movie is there's a classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original animated version, at least.
Yeah, I don't like the reboots. Like, I don't like the Jim Carrey one. I know some people are like, but Jim Carrey. I'm like, fuck that movie.
Or the Benedict Cumberbatch movie, even though it's much better than the Jim Carrey movie.
I think they're about even in terms of being not very good, in my humble opinion. Like the Benedict Cumberbatch movie gets the animation right. Like Jim Carrey just did not look right as the Grinch. I know that everyone's like, man, that makeup. I'm like, he does not look like to me like the Grinch. He looked like some type of monstrosity. Like the Grinch is supposed to be like, okay, this there's something off about this dude, but Jim Carrey did not look like off. Like no matter what you saw, it was like this is Jim Carrey in a really bad outfit.
I mean, he's supposed to resemble more like the original '60s the original animated version.
Yeah, but not. He didn't really. To me, I wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's kind of strange how Universal keeps shoving that version for their annual Christmas events at Universal Studios, their Universal theme parks.
Because they probably bought the rights to use that character, and they're like, we're gonna get our fucking money. We're gonna get our money's worth. Because Universal is like, we're gonna get our money's worth. God damn it.
And now for my fifth pick, I have to think hard on what it should be. And if not, I'll probably just dump in one of those claymation movies, like Santa's Coming to Town, A Year Without Santa Claus.
Jack Frost.
Yeah. Or
Rudolph
Frosty
the
the Snowman.
red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, yeah, those are good films. Those Ruby Spears, fun animated claymation films are pretty good too. And Burl Ives as Santa Claus is just brilliant. It's Burl Ives. Burl Ives, I say.
And let's not forget the Snow and Heat Misers.
Fair enough. Let's see. What are my favorites? Okay. I'll go five. Christmas Vacation. Sorry, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Um, that's a great film. Love it. Love it very much. Basically, it's another vacation movie, except it's better than European Vacation, which sucks. Um, and it's pretty damn good. It's basically Clark Griswold dealing with the rigors of trying to provide a good Christmas to his family, and the normal Griswold shenanigans ensue. So you've got crazy ass neighbors, relatives who are equally welcome but not welcome, and of course cousin Eddie with his metal plate in his head. Uh, so yeah, it's a pretty good film. Directed by John Hughes. You might see a theme in some of these holiday films where John Hughes is involved with it, or they're from the 80s. My number 4 film, holiday film, is Home Alone. Either of the two, like the first one or the second one. After the I know there's Home Alone 3 and Home Alone 4, but those movies fucking suck.
Yeah.
So they don't exist. It's like Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That movie doesn't exist. There is no Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There's only 3 Indiana Jones movies. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. What about the 4th? There is no 4th Indiana Jones movie. It doesn't exist. So that's how I basically feel about Home Alone. There's only 2 Home Alone movies. Home Alone and Home Alone 2. That's it. That's all we need. We don't need any other Home Alone films. Like, why did they make other ones? I'll never understand. Because really, I mean, sadly, I hate to say this, but Macaulay Culkin really made those films. And with no Macaulay Culkin, they kind of just fell apart. So, because they're like, well, we'll just get some cute kid and he'll play the same role, but it just like for some reason Macaulay Culkin can really pull off that like I'm totally assaulting these people and I might even kill them, but it's cute for some reason.
Is A Christmas Story another of your picks as well?
A Christmas Story. No, it's not one of my picks, although I know a lot of people like that movie. Like, I never was the biggest fan of A Christmas Story for some reason. I know some people might get mad at me when I say that, but I don't really care. Not a big Christmas Story fan. No, my number 3 movie is those Ruby Spears Christmas films.
So from
not Ruby Spears, the ones that are like made with the dolls and shit.
Yeah.
Like I love those from when I was a little kid. That was like one of my personal favorites. And I know some people are gonna get mad. They're gonna be like, "How dare you, sir?" But I love that shit when I was a little kid. Let's see what else. Number 2 is Trading Places. Trading Places is a film about it takes place during the holidays. It starts like before Christmas, goes through Christmas to New Year's, and it's about these 2 rich assholes who place a wager to basically kind of switch these 2 guys and see if nature versus nurture will make their lives better or worse. So they take a guy who's like a Wall Street stock exchange broker, and they swap him with a guy who's like a street level con man criminal. And one guy, the Wall Street stockbroker is played by Dan Aykroyd, and the street level con man is played by Eddie Murphy. And they switch them around. So basically, they manufacture this way so that like Dan Aykroyd's character loses his job, he loses his girlfriend, he loses his house, he loses his money, he loses everything. And then they give all of that stuff except for the girlfriend to Eddie Murphy. And like they basically do all of this while at the same time doing insider trading and information sharing in order to corner the frozen orange juice market. And it's a really good film. It doesn't have much. Like people are like, well, what does that have to do with Christmas? It has rich assholes getting their comeuppance. It has some of the most funniest fucking scenes in a holiday movie ever. And it kind of has an unofficial sequel called Coming to America, which also takes place around the holidays as well. see, told you I'd connect the shit. As a matter of fact, there's this.
It vaguely sounds similar to The Prince and the Pauper, where you got two people from different classes who look exactly identical, so they can switch places.
Yeah, it is kind of like that, but not nearly as nice. Matter of fact, kind of fucked up. It's kind of sad what happens to these people in the how these people are taken advantage of and kind of mistreated. But overall, I think it's a relatively good film. Maybe not the best film ever. And my number 1 holiday film of the holiday season, like I just love watching this movie this time of year.
Is it Die Hard?
No. Actually, like people are always saying Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm like, it has Christmas in it, but it's not really a Christmas movie. No, my favorite number 1 Christmas movie to watch this time of year, like it just gives me the warm fuzzies every time I watch it, is another Eddie Murphy film. It doesn't take place around Christmas, but I just like this movie. Or no, it's not an Eddie Murphy film. It's a Dan Aykroyd. It's a comedy. It's Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase. and I love it. And the title of this film is Spies Like Us.
Hmm.
Yeah. Spies Like Us is basically a film about a group of government employees who basically wind up being duped into being spies, and how they essentially um, are made into patsies to fire a missile in order to prove that this Star Wars defense system works. But like it doesn't. Like when they fire the missiles, it doesn't. So then they have to figure out a way to make the missiles explode before they hit the U.S. and start a nuclear, a mutually assured destruction scenario where everyone dies. And it basically makes fun of, the Reagan Bush era of Cold War hysteria in a comedic way. And I like the film. It's got a lot of snow and ice, and it's a good comedic film. For some reason, I'm a sucker for comedies. I'm a sucker for comedies in the fall. Like I like, I mean, in the holiday season. Like I like comedies. So,
And
but
it's kind of funny that none of our list contains A Christmas Carol.
I don't like that movie.
I mean, it's been. I mean, the story's been done to death for every medium.
I mean, it's not that it's terrible. I just am not a huge fan of it. Like I'm not like, oh my god, A Christmas Carol, it's the best film ever. Like, I mean, I get it. It's about Scrooge, and he's a rich asshole who's angry because his life wasn't what he wanted it to be, and he never got the woman he loved because he was an asshole or some shit. Like, I get it, but like it doesn't do anything for me. So, like the only Christmas Carol that I can kind of enjoy is the Muppets one, but that's not because it's the Christmas Carol; it's because it's the Muppets, and I'm a sucker for the Muppets. Like I love me some Muppets.
Right. I
But
don't think there's been a. I don't think there's been a parody movie that satirizes the entire story of Christmas Carol. Isn't there?
well, the closest you're gonna get is the Muppet Christmas Carol, but that one still kind of takes it seriously.
Yeah.
So, like, no one has really satirized it properly, given it the send off it deserves of just being ruthlessly satirized. Bah, humbug. I mean, there is that Christmas Carol from Jim Carrey that takes itself way too goddamn seriously.
With its motion capture.
That's just fucking creepy. Yeah. Like I said, unless you go Muppet Christmas Carol, it's too much. It takes it too far. Um, let's see. We have a few minutes left, so you want to bring up any free topics about movies or cartoons or? Oh no, we do have one final topic, which is if you had anything you could tell, um, Hollywood or these TV execs to like get them to stop making bad movies, what would it be? Or TV shows?
Let's see. I do have one thing towards Comcast / Universal Pictures. Start making new IPs that will have potential of becoming attractions for their theme parks, because they cannot rely on licensed IPs. They do not own like Transformers and Harry Potter on their own. They gotta use their own IPs instead to bring in the crowds.
Says you, man. They got Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and Fast and the Furious.
And the Fast and the Furious.
And the
where we can listen to Vin Diesel talk about family. It's about family.
I mean, they've already made a Fast and the Furious attraction in one of their theme parks.
It's about family, yo. It's family. I'm sorry.
Which is why I'm hoping that Mortal Engines succeeds in the box office, so that way they can make an attraction out of it. Or maybe Welcome to Warwind. Or was it Warman?
I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
To be fair, I haven't really enjoyed I don't like Universal's I don't like their Jurassic Park reboots.
It's more of a continuation.
Or a soft reboot or a continuation. I don't like them because it just shows just how fucking stupid the people in the world are. You know,
that's the entire point of the franchise.
It's like, and the thing is I hate stupid people in movies. I don't mean greedy. Greedy I can understand, but just plain old fucking stupid. Even oh Jesus, just stupid. And the new Jurassic Park movies is just even more people being stupid, which I don't like.
That's the entire point, because people do not learn their past mistakes and think they can overcome nature, only to realize that they don't have control over nature and that life finds a way.
So now we have to use the Ian Malcolm mantra: life finds a way. Life. Aha.
Boom is a national treasure.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Him and Sam Jackson. Are you Samuel L. Jackson? Yes, I am. I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. Yeah, I wish Hollywood would start making new IPs. Now, I know this is going to be hard for Hollywood because they don't want to do that. They want to just keep on recycling the same old shit over.
They have been making new IPs, just that nobody got to watch them.
No, when I say new IPs, I mean new shit, not and actually do it properly. Okay, stop. If you come up with a new IP, just make it small budget. Make it under 50 million. Okay, even lower than that. Spend no more than 30 million. Okay, that way, and instead of always releasing, okay, we need a big tentpole film, because when the tentpole film flops, you're fucked. If a 30 million movie flops, you can still make another 3 or 4 30 million movies. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Disney's doing a very good job with their tentpole strategy.
Yeah, but Disney has the IPs to pull it off. The Marvel films aren't gonna go when Marvel has their first real flop, it's gonna be bad. But it hasn't worked out completely, because look at Star Wars. Star Wars hasn't been that good with this we'll release everything all the time strategy. Which I don't really feel bad about. Some people are like, oh, but Star Wars. I'm like, I haven't really been enjoying Star Wars as it's been lately. I know some people are going to get mad when they hear that, because, how dare I not like Star Wars, but it hasn't been very good lately, sadly. But But anyway, yeah, Hollywood, please stop doing that. Just do small scale projects. You don't have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. And if you're gonna put someone in charge of something, it's like people that pander to the lowest common denominator haven't really been helping you. As a matter of fact, it's kind of gone in the opposite direction. Hence why the last Transformers film, even the Chinese people were like, "Fuck this movie." Um, and so like your Michael Bays, give them a break. Let somebody else who actually gives a fuck about the material get a crack at it. Okay. Because like there's certain things where people need to be familiar with the material in order to really bring it to the big screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people forget that because people are lame. But that's my opinion. Anything else before we wrap things up?
Let's see. I've been playing. Have nothing to say other than playing. I've been playing around. After playing through Dragon Ball FighterZ story mode, I could see the similarities between it and the World of Light story mode from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Really? So they still haven't made a story mode that's as good as what they had in Budokai 3? They're
Wait,
still kind of...
Wait, you played Dragon Ball FighterZ story mode?
No, but from what you describe, it sounds like it's not nearly as good as what they had in Budokai 3. Because Budokai 3, you literally, it was like Dragon Ball Z where you were going around.
Yeah, you were going around and but it was retelling the entire story, which people have gotten sick and tired. Dragon Ball Z fans have gotten sick and tired of. They wanted a brand new storyline.
Yeah, but you could mix it up because you could be different characters. You could be the trash character who got left behind. Poor Yamcha. poor Yamcha, and kick everyone's ass. It's like, I'm gonna fight Frieza with Yamcha. Or you could do an alternate reality thing where Bardock beats the shit out of everybody. I'm Frieza. I'm Bardock, bitch.
However, what I can see, Smash's World of Light's gonna be new and much more better and improved than Dragon Ball FighterZ story mode.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, you know. That's not hard to do. Because, I mean, I hate to say this, I'm tired of people saying that fighting games don't need story modes. Because I've played games that don't have story modes that fucking suck.
Such as Overwatch, because it lacks a single player campaign.
Yeah, because I mean that's an interesting world, right? It's like, wow, this world is actually interesting. It would be interesting to have like more shit going on. Like these characters are interesting. I'd want to know more about them, and that kind of brings the game down a little bit, in my humble opinion. But you know, what do I know? I'm just a dude.
And all those character trailer introductions that Blizzard has been animated shorts that they've been posting on their YouTube channels. They're not actually continuations of what's going on, but just prequels to the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's not actually actual expanding the lore, just more like more backstory.
Yeah. But that's how it be sometimes, you know. I wish that wasn't the case, but what can you do? What can you do?
Let's see what's new at the gaming realm. Oh yeah, this month is supposedly the 20th anniversary of that Nintendo 64 video clip where the kid was screaming of getting an N64 for Christmas.
Well, the N64 is an awesome console.
Yeah.
Best ever? Uh, that's debatable, but it is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Um,
Yeah, I think
let's
that's
see
about
what
it.
else. Um, um, so what you been playing lately? Play anything good, bad,
I
mediocre?
already told you I'm still playing some Dragon Ball Fighters.
Okay, well, I've been playing Darksiders, hoping to Darksiders 3, hoping to get a review up of that game. Sometime this week. Um, either tomorrow, either tonight or tomorrow, because it's actually pretty good. It's not great. It's pretty good. So
With that, I should mention I also pimped out a new article yesterday regarding regarding idol culture and how and why Western audiences demonize it as the plague for any medium, both video games and anime.
you mean where people have an unhealthy obsession with fictitious characters?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a little too far. It's like people who are like way
and
too into
how people and how male audiences are very paranoid of their own masculinity, of how idols is overshadowing the IPs that appeal to that genres that appeal to them only.
you mean the dude bro genres?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I think the audiences between those two are so different. And I mean, like, I think dude bros are so vastly different from, like, the dude bros aren't going to give a shit about idol culture. And people who are into idol culture, who are into, like, waifus and Hatsune Miku and shit like that, aren't going to be playing dude bro shit anyway. And if they do, it's going to be, like, more of a casual thing. You know what I mean?
yeah. But it's usually the dude bro gamers that have a bigger problem with the idol culture because of how they're infecting their dude bro games. Like, look at Chloe in Tekken 7 because she's
Eh,
supposed to be an idol.
yeah, but they also have Negan, so. And Negan is about as dude bro as you can get, really.
Though, of course, those same people are also upset about Negan because he doesn't make sense in the world of Tekken.
Yeah, but to be fair, a lot of shit doesn't make sense in the world of Tekken. I mean, really, if you want to get technical about it.
Right. They just they just want a game or anime starring muscular men, young boys, or femme fatales doing manly things.
You
Rather
mean
than
femme fatales?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, whatever makes you happy. I mean, I don't personally care, but I know there are people who do. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I can't get mad at people because they like shit. That's the problem with a lot of gamers. They get mad because people don't like what they like. But I mean, it would be a boring world if everyone liked the same shit everybody else liked.
but on
You
the
know what
other
I
hand,
mean?
now there'll be world peace because there
Oh
will be
man,
no war.
it would be no. People would still find a way. Humans love to find differences, even minute differences amongst each other. Um, so, but that's the end of the
So yeah,
podcast. Thank you for joining. We were supposed to have someone else here, but we held it down just between the two of us. So I'm gonna pimp out some stuff tomorrow. Either myself or Kenoshi Abominito will be doing a game awards podcast where we'll be shitting on all over it while watching it at the same time.
I think that's Thursday, not tomorrow.
Thursday? I
yeah.
thought it was Wednesday.
It's December 6th, which is Thursday.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah. Well, I guess I'll be a part of that anyway.
Same here.
Not gonna watch the whole thing. I'll probably watch some of it, and that's it. We will have a a BS Busters this Sunday. I don't know what it's going to be about because gaming has been so fluid. I guess we'll talk more about how apparently Bethesda pulled their head out of their ass and are starting to try and make some type of amends with gamers, but probably too little, too late. But anyway, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you for joining. Have a good night, and go watch those films we recommended. I mean, they're all really good. So with that being said, good night.
And all hail the Doritos Pope.